one of the members of this channel asked me to talk about the article where the Pope declares that mankind is experiencing the outbreak of World War III. Dum dum dum. So apparently he was talking to a couple of Polish-speaking pilgrims, pointing out that tomorrow they will be commemorating the beginning of World War II, an event which has major significance on the nation of Poland, as you may know. Also due to the fact that the communists and the Nazis decided to make love with each other and gang rape Poland, one from the east, another from the west. And after the Poles were liberated by the Red Army from the Nazi occupation, they were pulled under the Iron Curtain and got to suffer for a couple of more decades. So, as you can probably understand, the people of Poland aren't very pleased about this. Their national anthem, if I remember correctly, starts with "Poland is still here." And this is the context from which the Pope then piggybacked to World War III and said, oh, this is an outbreak of World War III. Humanity is moving there because Russian aggression and yada, yada, yada. Insert CNN talking point number 452. So I didn't really think that this is newsworthy, to be honest. I don't care what the Pope says. It's not that the Pope says it, by the way. Like, he is like a politician. He reads a script. Like someone else wrote something for him to read, and he did. So, with that out of the way, why do I make this video? Well, because while I don't think this is interesting, this other piece of news is highly interesting. See, here in Eastern Europe, we believe that actions speak louder than words. I don't care about how people flap their mouth. I know the woke ideology is all about yada, 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 people moving their lips and saying the correct things. Okay, like, you can take that and wipe your ass with it. What actually matters is the actions that people do. And the fact that Pope Francis instructs the Vatican entities to move all funds to Vatican Bank by September 30 is insanely interesting for many reasons. First of all, this is unprecedented in human history. It may actually be one of the largest transfers of physical wealth that I have ever experienced in my lifetime. Probably the lifetime of my parents and grandparents. And this has a date by September 30. So, not only are we talking about a large transfer of wealth, it is also done in a rush. It has to be done right away. So just so you can understand, we're talking not just about cash, but we're also talking about liquidities, and we're talking about gold and jewelry and a lot of wealth that is physical in nature. And all of it has to be moved to the Vatican by September 30. Like, we're on September 1st now. They have 29 days to do it. And I don't know how much wealth the Catholic Church has, but I assume it's at least in the order of billions of euros. At least. So, moving all that wealth within a couple of days is insanely ridiculous. So, the question is, why are they doing it? Well, one possibility is that maybe they do believe World War III is coming. Maybe they believe that a financial collapse is going to happen. Maybe they believe there's going to be civil unrest. I think it may be civil unrest. I think that if you look at the gas bills in a lot of European countries, you will notice that people might get a little bit upset. Especially people from Western nations that have been used with comfort and air conditioning to now have to suffer from the cold. They're going to be very upset. And when that happens, you might notice some social changes. You might notice the government's trying to do desperate things, such as seizing assets and whatnot. And given the fact that the Catholic Church has been actively promoting environmentalism and a lot of the policies which led to Europe not being energy independent, they're probably thinking, okay, well, let's take our money away from those countries. Let's put them somewhere safe, because bad things are coming. Regarding World War III, I don't think it's going to be from Russia. If anything, it might be from China if they decide to go into Taiwan. Like, that can spark off a conflict of historical significance. But I don't think this is the reason why the Pope is losing trust in other nations to hold his money. Again, even if the Russians were to say, all right, let's invade further than Ukraine, it would take a significant amount of time until they would reach the nations where the Pope is having his assets deposited. So I don't think this is connected to World War III. It can either be connected to financial collapse. Like you might see important banks having to go under, and because of that, if the Pope has his money there, he might lose it. Or it may be due to social unrest. Like just people going out on the street demanding that the government steps down, and in exchange you have a populist government who goes like, okay, well, let's seize the assets which belong to foreign entities, including the Catholic Church. So I think that's what he is worried about. I'm not saying that that can happen, but I am saying that this would be a precaution. Definitely this is newsworthy, okay? Like this should be on every single television, on every single newspaper, and definitely not this, okay? Like this is crap. This is circus. This is like, it doesn't matter, all right? This is where the focus should be. It's very interesting. And also notice how the Pope isn't transferring his wealth into crypto or some other form of currency that comes with an ideology behind it. Did you notice that? Because if the power goes out, so too does your crypto. If the internet goes out, so too does... Gold always had value. Throughout human history, since Adam and Eve, all the way up till now, like there was no time in human history where gold was worthless. Gold, assets, land, like that's what matters. Land to make the food. Like Bill Gates is buying land. The Pope is moving his gold and weapons and ammunition. But this is Europe, so we don't have those. But if you're an American, yes. Like if I was an American and I wanted to get past inflation, like one of the ways you can do is like you can buy a box of bullets. Like they're easy to stack. They will always have value. That's the correct mindset. I don't know. No, you need to invest. You need to invest into the digital currency. Because only through the digital messiah will we be saved from the technocracy. No, you know what saves you from the technocracy? Not using the fucking internet. How about that? Did you try that? Like, don't use the internet. Like, I personally, as a Romanian,